Okay, so this is Wit and Wisdom Module 4, Lesson 20. Our focusing question is, how can a story transport you to a different place? That's what we've been talking about. Our content framing question is, what is the essential meaning of why mosquitoes buzz in people's ears? And we're not answering that question of why they actually buzz in people's ears. We're just talking about that text. That's the title of our text. Why people buzz in people's ears. All right. So I'm going to switch to the document camera so we can look at our language chart with our poem. And the title of the poem is Lions Roar. Oh, we've added a few more lines. So 1 second so I can switch over. All righty, here we go. Push it up a little bit. You can see the whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to read the lines and I want you to echo read, which means you're going to repeat after me, okay? But I'm going to go a little slower. Instead of reading the whole line, I'm just going to read like the animal and the sound, and then you repeat it, and then I'll go to the next one, okay? Y'all ready?
Yes,
okay. Lions roar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lions roar.
Eagles soar.
Eagles.
Leopards prowl. Leopards growl.
Leopards growls.
Cheetahs prowl.
Cheetahs prowls.
Snakes slide.
Fly.
Snake.
Snake glide.
Eagles glide.
Eagle glide.
Y'all don't have to take turns. Y'all can both say it after me, okay? Lizards crawl.
Lizards crawl.
Jackals call.
Lizard call. Jackal call.
Jackals.
She said we had to take turns.
No, she didn't.
No, I said you don't have to take turns, sweetheart. Both of you can answer. Because if we were in the classroom, then the whole class would be echoing. All right. Monkeys leap.
Monkey leaps.
Snails creep.
Snails creep.
Ants heap.
Ant.
Fledglings. Fledglings cheep.
Live horse creep.
Birds sing.
Bird sings.
Wasps sing.
Wasp sings.
Panthers stalk.
Hippo talks.
People talk.
People talk.
Okay. So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing for the past few days, listening for rhyming words. I'm going to reread the last 2 lines of the poem, and if you hear a set of rhyming words, I want you to point to your ear, okay? So here we go. Birds sing, wasps sing. Good. Panthers stalk, people talk.
Panther stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Stalk and talk. Those rhyme. Okay, so when we think about the word stalk, do you know what the word stalk means? It means like you're walking in a sneaky way, like you're hunting something. So after we've read the entire poem as well as the last line, how are people different from animals? Do we all communicate the same? No. So what do people do that animals don't do?
What people do?
Them. Drive cars.
What did he say?
Logan said people drive cars.
Oh, well, she's absolutely right. But from the poem, Logan, what does the poem give us an example of how people are different? Do you remember what it said in the last line? It said panthers stalk and people do what? people talk. So this poem is about like these different animals, how they communicate, and the way that people communicate is by talking. So that's how we're well, that's one way we're different from them. Okay, so here's our text again, and we're coming down to a close um, on our exploration of this text. Remember, I said that next week I'll be working from home because the AC is going to be out. And so I've already pulled the materials for next week. So we're going to be looking at some different text. Oh, all right. So here's our text, Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears. Remember that over the past few lessons, you have explored the text in different ways. We started off by noticing interesting things and asking good questions. That's when we notice and wonder. Then you thought about what is happening in the text and looked more deeply at the illustration. So the first thing we do to a text is notice and wonder, and then we try to figure out what is happening in the text. Sometimes we can just use the words, sometimes we have to use the words in the picture. So when you're trying to build a strong understanding of what is happening in a story, it prepares you to go deeper and think about what the essential meaning of the text is. Like, what is it that the author is trying to say? So the content framing question is, what is the essential meaning of why mosquitoes buzz in people's ears? So I want you to repeat that to me. And the reason we ask students to repeat this is because if you're saying it out loud, then you're more likely to understand what's being asked of you. Because it's kind of hard to do something if you don't know what I'm asking you to do, right? Okay, so I want you to echo read the content framing question, okay?
A.
Y'all ready?
Yes.
What is
What is
the essential meaning
the meaning?
of why mosquitoes
Why mosquitoes
buzz in people's ears?
buzz in people's ears?
Okay, so you think we may be able to answer that question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we look for when we think about the essential meaning of the text? Can you guys hold on 1 second?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay. Mr. Williams had walked in. I thought he needed something. He was just coming to check on you. All right. So what do we look for when we think about the essential meaning of the text? We're looking for the important message. What is it that the author is trying to tell us? And we kind of find out what the story means. So if I ask you to tell me based on this text, on this folk tale, what the essential meaning is, if we answer that, why do mosquitoes buzz in people's ears based on this story? Would you be able to tell me? With some prompting, you probably could, because what we would be doing basically is retelling the story. We would be recalling facts that happened in the story, using the story elements, the characters, the setting, and the plot, which is the sequence of how the things happened in the story. All right. So remember that this story is a folk tale. That's the kind of story it is. Folk tales like this one shared in this text are stories that have been told over and over for a very long time. Long ago, folk tales were stories that were told and retold out loud. They were not written down at first. Folk tales were often created to explain something about the world or to teach a lesson about life. Remember I said when we're looking for the essential meaning, we're looking for the lesson. So what does the story and why mosquitoes buzz people's ears explain about the world? What is it that, that the author is trying to tell us?
It's trying about the book. It's trying to tell us about the book.
But what is the book telling us though? The iguana is one of the characters. He's part of the story. But what is the whole story telling us? He put the sticks in his ears so he couldn't hear, so he didn't have to listen. But what the story is telling us is why mosquitoes buzz in people's ears. Not the scientific explanation, not the real explanation, but just, according to this folk tale. It explains that mosquitoes are annoying, like I told you yesterday, but it's usually annoying. Like if you're sitting outside trying to eat some crawfish and there's some gnats or something buzzing around, that's annoying. But in this case, like yesterday, because we have read this story, when the mosquito was buzzing in my ear, it was just funny to me. But I still had the same reaction. I still swatted it away. So the folk tale also explains why people don't like mosquitoes. So the book explains something about the world and teaches a lesson about life. Think about the life lesson that the story teaches as we read the story one more time. So we're going to read it in its entirety, and then we'll answer some questions about it, okay?
Okay.
All right. One morning, a mosquito saw an iguana drinking at a water hole. The mosquito said, "Iguana, you will never believe what I saw yesterday." Sorry about that. That was an announcement. "Try me," said the iguana. The mosquito said, "I saw a farmer digging yams that were almost as big as I am." "What's a mosquito compared to a yam?" snapped the iguana grumpily. "I would rather be deaf than listen to such nonsense." Then he stuck two sticks in his ears and went off, meh, 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 through the reeds. The iguana was still grumbling to himself when he happened to pass by a python. The big snake raised his head and said, "Good morning, iguana." The iguana did not answer, but lumbered on, bobbing his head, battening, battening. "Now why won't he speak to me?" said the python to himself. "The iguana must be angry about something. I'm afraid he's plotting some mischief against me." He began looking for somewhere to hide. The first likely place he found was a rabbit hole, and in it he went, with sour soup, with sour soup, with sour soup. That was sour soup is a sound effect of him slithering. When the rabbit saw the big snake coming into her burrow, she was terrified. She scurried out through her back way and bounded, crick, 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 across the clearing. A crow saw the rabbit running for her life. He flew into the forest crying, "Caw, caw, caw." It was his duty to spread the alarm in case of danger. A monkey heard the crow. He was sure that some dangerous beast was prowling near. He began screeching and leaping, hilly willy, through the trees to help warn the other animals. As the monkey was crashing through the treetops, he happened to land on a dead limb. It broke and fell on an owl's nest, killing one of the owlets. Mother Owl was not at home, for though she usually hunted only in the night, this morning she was still out searching for one more tidbit to satisfy her hungry baby. When she returned to the nest, she found one of them dead. Her other children told her that the monkey had killed it. All that day and all that night she sat in her tree, so sad, so sad, so sad. Now it was Mother Owl who woke the sun each day so that the dawn could come. But this time, when she should have hooted for the sun, she did not do it. The night grew longer and longer. The animals of the forest knew it was lasting much too long. They feared that the sun would never come back. How sad the animals look down here. At last, King Lion called a meeting of the animals. They came and sat down, pim, 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 around a council fire. Mother Owl did not come, so the antelope was sent to fetch her. When she arrived, King Lion asked, Mother Owl, why have you not called the sun? The night has lasted long, 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 and everyone is worried. Mother Owl said, Monkey killed one of my owlets. Because of that, I cannot bear to wake the sun. The king said to the gathered animals, Did you hear? It was the monkey who killed the owlet. And now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Now this is what they're imagining happening over here, like he's beating the owlet with a stick, but we know that that's not what really happened. King Lion called the monkey. He came before him nervously, glancing from side to side. Rim, 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 rim. Monkey, said the king, why did you kill one of Mother Owl's babies? Oh, king, said the monkey, it was the crow's fault. He was calling and calling to warn us of danger, and I went leaping through the trees to help. A limb broke under me and it fell, ta, on the owl's neck. The king said to the council, so it was the crow who alarmed the monkey who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Then the king called for the crow. That big bird came flapping up. He said, King Lion, it was the rabbit's fault. I saw her running for her life in the daytime. Wasn't that reason enough to spread an alarm? The king nodded his head and said to the council, so it was the rabbit who startled the crow, who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Then King Lion called the rabbit. The little creature stood before him, one trembling paw drawn up uncertainly. Rabbit, cried the king, why did you break a law of nature and go running, running, running in the daytime? Oh, king, said the rabbit, it was the python's fault. I was in my house minding my own business when that big snake came in and chased me out. The king said to the council, so it was the python who scared the rabbit, who startled the crow, who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. I called the python who came slithering with sour soup, past the other animals. But king, he cried, it was the iguana's fault. He wouldn't speak to me, and I thought he was plotting some mischief against me. When I crawled into the rabbit's hole, I was only trying to hide. The king came to the council. So it was the iguana who frightened the python, who scared the rabbit, who startled the crow, who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Now the iguana was not at the meeting, for he had not heard the summons. The antelope was sent to fetch him. All the animals laughed when they saw the iguana coming, battering, with the stick still stuck in his ears. King Lion pulled out the sticks. Hurrah, hurrah. Then he asked, Iguana, what evil have you been plotting against the python? None at all, cried the iguana. Python is my friend. Then why wouldn't you say good morning to me? Demanded the snake. I didn't hear you or even see you, said the iguana. Mosquitoes told me such a big lie. I couldn't bear to listen to it, so I put sticks in my ear. Laughed the lion. So that's why you had sticks in your ears. Yes, said the iguana. It was the mosquito's fault. King Lion said to the council, so it was the mosquito who annoyed the iguana, who frightened the python, who scared the rabbit, who startled the crow, who alarmed the monkey, who killed the owlet, and now Mother Owl won't wake the sun so that the day can come. Punish the mosquito, cried all the animals. When Mother Owl heard that, she was satisfied. She turned her head toward the east and hooted. Hoo, hoo, Ooh, and the sun came up. Meanwhile, the mosquito had listened to it all from a nearby bush. She crept under a curly leaf, stemmed, and was never found and brought before the council. But because of this, the mosquito has a guilty conscience. To this day, she goes about whining in people's ears. Is everyone still angry at me? When she does that, she gets an honest answer because she gets swatted like I swatted on yesterday. All right. And then at the end, he swatted. Kapow. Okay. So now let's talk about the whole text. How did King Lion use questions to learn why the night lasted so long? How did he use questions? What did he do?
He buys the animal and ask a question.
He called all the animals together and asked them a question. He called like a meeting or a council of animals, and he asked each animal a question. He kept asking questions until he found out what really happened. All right, so what might have happened if King Lion only listened to Mother Owl and didn't continue to ask any more questions? If he remember, let's go back and look at you remember how illustrations can help us to tell what's going on. So let's look at the picture after Mother Owl tells King Lion what happened. You remember I said this is what they were imagining it happened, but this is what happened.
That's what he eats the owl. So Mother Owl can wake the sun up.
If King Lion had just stopped right there when he talked to Mother Owl, what do you think would have happened if he didn't ask any more questions? Probably would have done what?
Probably that eat the owl. Probably he eat them.
No, he didn't eat the owl. We know that. No, this is what they're imagining.
See a fur, but it's kind of mad. But look, baby girl get eat. That baby girl get eat.
Because they're thinking that's what he did, but that's not what he did. Remember it said that he landed on, when he was leaping through the trees, he landed on a dead limb, and the limb broke and fell on the owl. That's what killed the owl.
I will get eating.
So if King Lion had only listened to Mother Owl and didn't continue to ask questions, he might have punished the monkey because Mother Owl said it was the monkey's fault. So no one would have known the whole story, and the animals may have stayed mad at each other. All right, so at the end of the story, it says that the mosquito had a guilty conscience. What is a guilty conscience, and why might the mosquito feel guilty? What is a guilty conscience?
What is a guilty conscience?
Let me reread that part of the text to you. It says, meanwhile, the mosquito had listened to it all from a nearby bush. She crept under a curly leaf stem and was never found and brought before the council. But because of this, the mosquito had a guilty conscience. So why do you think she felt guilty?
Because he got buzzing in that ear. He got buzzing in the people's ear.
She knew that it was all her fault, but she had never been brought to before the council, so she was never punished for it. But she knew it was all her fault. So a guilty conscience is when you feel bad about something that you did. You have a guilty conscience when you've done something wrong and you feel bad. The mosquito feels bad because she knows she lied, and the mosquito feels guilty because she lied and then the baby owl died. Because remember in the beginning of the story, when she talked about the yam, that was a lie. I guess she was just talking to be talking. I don't know. Excuse me. So in the story, we kind of have like a domino effect. At the end, after King Lion finished answering his questions, this is like a domino effect. It started with the mosquito, it went to the iguana, and then to the python, the rabbit, the crow, and the monkey, and then the monkey ended up killing the owlet. So the event that ended up happening was that the owlet died, but it was because of all of these things that took place before. All right.
Hi.
Talked about the lady that is retelling the story, Verna Hardema. And she not only explained something about the world and taught a lesson about life in this book, she also made the book really fun to read. So we're going to look at some words from the text that make the story interesting and fun to read. What does the mosquito say? What does the mosquito say? What does it do in your ear? Remember we said in the book it said is everyone still angry at me? What does that sound like? What is that? It's like a buzzing sound. That's what it sounds like. So if you hear that buzzing, that sounds like a mosquito. Can you make a buzzing sound like a mosquito?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's look at some more examples in the text and see if we can see some more sound effect words. Now what about iguana? It says, then he stuck 2 sticks in his ears and went off, mek, 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 through the woods. Do we hear the sound effect words? Mek, 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 or mek, mek is what the iguana is sounding. I mean, it's saying, or what he sounds like. It's a sound effect word. And what is mek, mek, mek? That's the sound of, is that the sound of him talking or the sound of him walking? Is it the sound of him talking or walking?
Talking.
Let's listen to it again. Then he stuck 2 sticks in his ears and went off. Mek, 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 through the reeds. So it's the sound of him walking away through the reeds. So it's actually the sound of him walking. So we have some others, and we'll, instead of rereading all of those for time's sake, because we still do math, we'll just look at the sound effect words. The wasawasu, wasawasu. That was the sound the python was making when he was slithering. Crick, crick is the sound the rabbit made when he was running out of the back, when she was running out the back way of the burrow. Ha, ha. That's the sound that the crow was making to alarm the other animals that something was going on after he saw Rabbit running for her life. Ta. That's the sound of that the branch made when it fell on the owl. That's the sound the owl made when she was calling to wake up the sun. Okay. So let's think about our focusing question again. How does the story transport you to a different place? Now, I want you to think about what is it in this story that helps to transport you to a West African forest? How does the story take you there in your imagination? What is it that you see and hear that helps you to visualize being in an African forest, a West African forest? The pictures help you to imagine what it looks like. The funny words help you to imagine what it sounds like. And the characters help you to imagine the animal. So what we're going to be doing, you can either think about it or write about it. It depends on if you have the materials at home. But if you have paper and pencil, I want you to write about one. We're going to be writing about one of the elements from the text that can help transport you into the story. And that story element is the characters. So I want you to first think about who is your favorite character in Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears. That's going to be your focus and question tag. And why? So you're going to have to think about all the different animals, the sounds they made, the things they did, what role they played in the story. I want you to think about which one of those is your favorite, and I want you to tell me why. Excuse me, we're going to review the evidence organizer for the text. I don't know. I'll have to email it to your parents. You can have it. The characters are the iguana, the python, the rabbit, the crow, and the monkey. Those are the main characters. We have some other characters like the lion and the antelope in there as well. And you're welcome to write about those if you want to, but I just want you to pick one of them. We have descriptions of what the characters look like and how they move. So I'm going to send this to your parents so you can have it to think about as you're writing your opinion piece. And we know that this is going to be when you're trying to write about an opinion, you have to collect evidence to form an opinion, but it's still going to be your opinion. So Seth, you may say that the iguana is your favorite animal, but Logan may say that the python was hers. Well, we can't really argue which is which because it's your opinion. And so you have to consider the evidence that you collected about the character before you can decide which one is your favorite. And also, before you form your opinion, you need to think about it. You need to look at the evidence, and that's why I'm going to send it to you. And think about the different characters and what makes them special. Okay? So we'll say this will be due on Monday. You don't have to have it ready for tomorrow. I'll email it to your parents today. And again, the question is, who is your favorite character and why mosquitoes buzz in people's ears and why? Okay, everybody got it?
Yes.
And I'll include the question on the email with the evidence chart, and I'll send it to you. And I'll also include the sound effects, this chart that we did with the sound effect words, I'll include that also. All right, so now let's go to our math lesson for today. It's Module 5, Lesson 3. And today we're going to be counting and circling 10 objects within images of 10 to 20 objects and describing as 10 ones and 10 others. Almost identical with what we're doing the past couple of days. We're just building on that, all right? So our application problem says, a gingerbread man got 10 sprinkles as buttons with 2 sprinkles to show his eyes. I'm going to, the instructions tell me to draw to show the 12 sprinkles as 10 buttons and 2 eyes. Okay, let me turn the paper long ways. Okay, so here's my gingerbread man.
Who is that?
This is the beginning of the gingerbread man, or something like that.
What? I love gingerbread. What is that gingerbread?
Miss Nelson is drawing freehand. So it doesn't really look like a gingerbread man, huh?
Yeah, but he doesn't have no color. No color.
Okay, so it said he had 2 sprinkles for his eyes and 10 for his buttons. So why don't you count with me while I add the buttons, okay?
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 wands and 2 wands. 10 buttons plus 2 buttons is how many buttons?
12.
12. Very good. 10 2 or 10 wands and 2 wands equals 12. All right, so let's go to our problem set.
Uh-oh. Memo saying, look. You eat the apples. Will you eat the apples?
The directions say to count and circle 10 things. Tell how many there are in 2 parts. 10 wands and some more wands. So look up here at this example. There's some squares up here. This is 10 wands and 2 wands. So we're going to circle the 10 and then we'll count the others to see how many wands we have, okay? So with the ice cream cones, just count out 10 cones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to circle those. So that's our 10 ones. Now let's see how many more ones we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer is 5. I have 10 ones and 5 ones. All right, let's go to the apples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to circle those. I have 10 ones and how many more ones?
2.
2. So I have 10 ones and 2 ones. Okay, let's do the bell peppers.
1,
1,
2,
3,
4, 5, 6, 7,
8,
9,
9, 10.
10.
So this is 10 ones, and then how many more do I have?
3.
3. So I have 10 ones and 3 ones. What about the unpack?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So we're going to circle the 10 and put our 10 here. Now we're going to count to see how many more ones we have. Count. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
wow. So I have 10 ones and 10 ones. How many thumbtacks do I have altogether?
You have 20.
Nancy, good job. 20.
I say that. Me.
Okay, so for the next one, they want us to draw.
Draw. Other.
Miss Mel is going to draw, and then on the last page, and I'll be
You
back.
know to draw.
It says, draw your picture to match the words. Circle 10 wands. The words say, I have 10 wands and 3 wands. So I'm going to put mine in the 5 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. It told me to circle my 10. And this is what I have. I have 10 ones and 3 ones. Okay, so what this is if you had this sheet and I told you to show it to me, then you would be drawing it. The words in this one says I have 10 ones and 8 ones. And I'm going to put my 10 ones in a 5 group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to circle my 10. So I have 10 ones and 8 ones. Right on the next page, It says to circle 10 ones. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
6, 7, 8,
9.
9, 10.
So I have 10 ones and how many more ones?
1, 2,
1,
3.
2, 3. I have 10 ones and 3 ones. Now over here they want me to do the same thing I did on the previous page, which is to draw 10 ones and 6 ones. Okay.
1, 2,
1, 2,
4, 5, 4, 5,
5,
6, 7,
7, 8,
8,
9, 10.
10.
1, 2,
2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
7.
No, we're going to stop at 6. You see, it says I have 10 ones and 6 ones. So I circle my 10 to keep those separate. So I know that this is 10. So I'm just adding on to that 10. All right. So here you guys go. I want you to count these. Tell me which ones to circle because we're going to circle 10. And then I want you to tell me how many there are in 2 parts. 10 ones and some more ones. Okay, Logan, why don't you try the first one? Why don't you try the duck? Tell me, count them out. Tell me which ones to circle and tell me how many more you have.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so is this the group that you counted?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to circle that 10. And then how many more do we have?
2.
2. So I have 10 ones and 2 ones. Okay, Seth, you do the smiley faces. And since they're not grouped, I'm going to check them off like we did in the previous lesson. I'll check them off until you get to 10, and then I'll know that's the ones that I'm going to circle, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's go. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
no, wait, Seth, remember we're counting 10 ones and then some more ones. So we have to stop at 10 so we can circle the 10. Now tell me how many other ones you have.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
Very good. 4. I have 10 ones and 4 ones. Okay. Same thing here, Logan. I'm going to check off the diamonds as you count them so we can kind of keep them separate, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead and start counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, so we're going to circle our 10. Now count to see how many, so we'll put down here, I have 10 ones and how many more ones? Are you counting, Logan?
Ma'am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8.
Very good. I have 10 ones and 8 ones. Okay, same thing, Seth. I'm going to check them off as we as you count them, okay?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, so we'll circle all of these. So I have 10 ones and how many ones?
1.
1. Very good. You all are just too smart for me. All right, so that is the end of lesson 3. And I'll go back to all right, so tomorrow we'll work on lesson 4 in math, and it's pretty similar to what we've been doing, and we'll continue on with our exploration of why the mosquitoes. I'll give that information to your parents, and you can start working on your opinion team. What character in the story is your favorite and why? Okay, so does everybody have it?
Yes.
All righty. So you guys can take a little break and then get on to IXL and work in each of those for an equal amount of time. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay?
Bye.
Bye-bye, sweetheart. And moms, you can email me if you have any questions or if you need anything. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Thank you.